The Boston Celtics are already crashing out as multiple star players have complained to the media, and nobody saw this coming, but we should have, in regards to the New York Knicks and all the great things that they've done already in this series. While Celtics fans are upset with Joe Mazzulla, we have a lot to talk about, guys. What's up? Welcome back to Knicks Digest. It's Chris here, and we're going to jump right into things as always. Guys, if you're part of that 66% that's not subscribed to Knicks Digest, subscribe right now for daily New York Knicks content every single day of 2025. There's going to be a Knicks Digest video. You do not want to miss out on all the fun. But let's jump into it. A lot to talk about on the New York Knicks front. Look, the Boston Celtics are already crashing out as players like Jason Tatum have already started complaining to the media about the refereeing and everything about that. We also saw it with Jalen Brown, and this is so sad of them. The Boston Celtics, the defending champions, they're just whining. They did this against the Magic as well. This whiny, mopey team it's already begun, guys. They're like, oh, well, this isn't fair. Oh, yeah, sure, it's not fair. Okay. I don't know. Anyone who watched that game last night knows there was about 47 million foul calls within the first 10 minutes of the game. By 20 minutes in, everyone should have fouled out, I guess, by the amount of whistles that had been blown. It was absurd. The calls were awful in both directions. I'm not saying the Knicks got screwed. I don't think the Celtics got screwed either. I think the calls were just awful. There was multiple calls that should not have been done on either team. I thought Jalen Brown got a clear steal off Jalen Brunson that shouldn't have been called a foul. I think there was a handful of times Jason Tatum got bailed out on foul calls. Yet, it went both ways. I think it was a fairly evenly called game in the sense that the reffing was awful in both directions. I don't think that there should have been as many fouls. However, Jason Tatum, he's complaining and whining and moaning to the fans as he does because he's a mopey guy and he's going to brood or whatever. And this is what he had to say when he was asked about it. He said, I mean, it's the playoffs. Like, we probably should just play without the refs with how physical it is. So that doesn't really cross my mind at all. Meanwhile, Jalen Brown said something completely different. Brown said that it's the playoffs and every play, you could probably say that there should have been foul calls. I just got to finish that. That was it. So Jalen Brunson also out there complaining about foul calls, frowning, not looking at anyone, just being bummed out that the Celtics had every reason to win that game and didn't take advantage of it. They let the Knicks come back. They didn't do anything to stop it. The only thing they did was help the Knicks by the way that they played. I understand that Jason Tatum's upset and Jason Tatum's allowed to be upset, but here's the deal. If you're going to complain about calls, if you're going to be Jason Tatum and complain and whine to the media about how the fouls are a problem, don't go 0 for 7 in the fourth quarter, maybe. Couldn't that have had something to do with it? You know, when the Knicks came back, that whole part of it, when it was, a 9-point game in the fourth quarter, the Celtics were up. They had a lead. They could have just not blown the lead. How about that? Maybe you make a single shot in the fourth quarter. Did that ever come to mind, Jason Tatum? No, because this is what Jason Tatum does. He misses, and he misses a lot. This has been something that's happened. He's gone cold before. He went cold again, and OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges were draped all over him, meaning this was not just Jason Tatum going cold. He had problems with the New York Knicks defense, something that didn't happen all regular season. So he thought, oh, it's the same thing, when guess what? It wasn't. The Knicks showed up and were prepared, and they guarded Tatum well, and then Tatum's like, well, there's so much physicality and all that. I guess there shouldn't even be refs. Okay. I mean, imagine if Jalen Brunson went in there and said that, all the crap that he would get for it. It'd be absurd if anyone said that. But no, Jason Tatum's allowed to complain to the refs, and no one cares because Boston's going to whine or whatever. But Fred Katz also asked Mikal Bridges about all this, saying, last play of the game, you stalled the ball, pass tracks over your head. Where were you looking? And Mikal Bridges went to Cameron Payne and said, Cam, how'd I track the ball? And Payne responded, the Rams, meaning the Los Angeles Rams, the football team. And Mikal said, I'm a football guy. I'm watching his eyes. And Fred Katz said, oh, you're Sauce Gardner, the best player on the New York Jets who happens to be a cornerback. Mikal responded, no, I'm Witherspoon. I'm a Rams fan. First of all, why is nobody a Jets or a Giants fan on the Knicks? Little annoying, but you know what? After Mikal Bridges stole the ball, hell, he could be a Patriot. He could be a Celtics fan. As long as he's helping the Knicks win games, I don't care. Look, Mikal Bridges was great tonight. We saw Mikal Bridges step up in a way that sometimes this season he had not done, and a lot of Knicks fans were worried about Mikal entering into the playoffs, but his defense has been nothing short of absolutely phenomenal. Mikal has been asked about this time and time again about his defensive performances, and he's spoken on that, and there's just been a lot of discourse surrounding it. But more importantly, when you talk to Mikal Bridges, he understands that he struggled. He said, I don't know if people thought I stopped playing defense. I know I struggled a little bit this year, but I'm just getting comfortable. So Mikal, he's just figuring it out, so getting things back going. He's in a new role with the Knicks once again. Third year in a row, his role switched. He's in the playoffs. They're trying to win the finals. It's a bit different from when he was on the Suns. So he's just trying to figure things out. When Josh Hart also spoke on the Knicks defense saying, I don't think you want to force them into threes. We don't want them to shoot more threes. They got great shooters, man. You never want a team like that to shoot more threes because the Celtics, they missed threes like there was no tomorrow. There's no doubt about that, and that's what the Celtics fans are harping on. As Keith Smith mentioned, the Celtics three-point shooting in Game 1, 0 for 0 versus very tight defense. Now, that's interesting. It felt like there was tight defense, but that's what the NBA says, and I wouldn't argue if it was the other way around. So 1 for 4 versus tight defense, 7 for 32 on open shots, and 7 for 24 on wide open shots, 14 for 56 or 25% on wide open to open shots. In the regular season, Boston shot 38% on those, meaning that it could help. However, as I mentioned last night, the Knicks are jumping passing lanes. They're getting in there. They're disrupting. They're not letting the Celtics get these open shots that are just open catch and shoots. They're having to evade. They're having to shoot on the move. That's a lot different from a normal catch and shoot shot, which the Celtics were used to, specifically against the Knicks. But the Knicks changed up their plans, and it's worked really well. And now fans are freaking out over it because they're like, what do we do? The Celtics are dealing with this problem. Now, look, they're going to have a game or two or three where they shoot the lights out, and the Knicks are going to struggle to deal with that. But this game, they didn't shoot well, and they're saying, well, we only lost by 3 and we didn't shoot well. Look, the Knicks, they shot 11.4% worse on two-point attempts than the Celtics and 30% worse on free throws than the Celtics. NBA and WNBA playoff teams were previously 0 and 75 when being outshot by 10% on twos and 22% on free throws before tonight. So this is not a two-way street. Now, yes, the Celtics fouled Mitchell Robinson a bunch. Mitchell Robinson missed a lot of free throws. Guess what? The Celtics didn't capitalize enough. Whose fault is that? Why are we acting like this is some luck-based thing only? The Knicks showed up. They played good defense. The Celtics got nervous because they hadn't faced the Knicks defense being this good before. And then Jalen Brunson did what Jalen Brunson did, be the best player in the series, because anyone should know that Jalen Brunson is clearly the best player in the series. I have never understood why people think Jason Tatum is better than him. He's just not, and everyone has to stop with all of this nonsense. Now, they were lucky that Brunson missed that shot. They had another chance to win. What happened? They didn't capitalize. Jason Tatum sucked it up in overtime. Whose fault is that? Did it help that OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges were playing elite defense? Yeah. So what are you going to say? Oh, well, it's different. Their defense was good. It doesn't count. No. No. Absolutely not. In this game, the Knicks didn't shoot particularly well all around. Yeah, their three-point shooting was awesome in the sense that they shot 46% from deep. That's phenomenal. Deuce McBride played a huge part in this, going 3 for 6. OG Anunoby went 6 for 11. Do I think OG is going to go 6 for 11 from 3 on the reg in this series? Absolutely not. But is Karl-Anthony Towns regularly going to shoot 0 for 1 on threes in this? Is Josh Hart regularly going to shoot 1 for 5 on threes? When, by the way, it's important to note that Josh Hart is shooting 50% from 3, or was shooting 50% from 3 going into this game. So don't act like Josh Hart is going to keep doing this. Jalen Brunson shot 5 for 9. We should expect something similar to that. Mikal Bridges shot 2 for 5. He's done a lot better in the past. It's not like this is something that's not sustainable with the way the Knicks are hitting threes, because some of their guys who are key players for this team did not hit their shots. Cameron Payne didn't get an open 3. He's been a good shooter historically in the playoffs as well. We've seen a lot of this happen. Now, something else that we need to see is more Karl-Anthony Towns and Mitchell Robinson together. Also, shout out to Precious Achiuwa for a few huge minutes as well. Gave some good stuff when the Knicks needed it, but also had some struggles as well. But his defense was very good. He had a lot of good moments defensively, which was helpful. But We have to stop acting like this isn't sustainable. Meanwhile, the Boston Celtics, they didn't shoot well from 3. And the Knicks defense was part of that. Yeah, is Jalen Brown going to regularly shoot 1 for 10? Probably not. I don't expect him to because he's Jalen Brown. He's a great player. Is Jason Tatum regularly going to shoot 4 for 16 from 3? In the playoffs, actually maybe, because Jason Tatum does that regularly. 25% from 3 feels pretty accurate for Jason Tatum in the playoffs. Is Jrue Holiday regularly going to shoot 2 for 7 from 3? Actually, yes, because Jrue Holiday's shooting in the playoffs has not been historically great. Is Derek White going to shoot 5 for 16 from 3? Absolutely not. Derek White's a phenomenal shooter. He's going to shoot better. Look, I'm not acting like the Celtics aren't going to be the favorites to win this series. Hell, I still think they probably will. But the complaining is unbelievable. Y'all lost and y'all are upset about it. You look at the way the New York Knicks played defense on this possession. This is not what we saw in the regular season from the Knicks. They're closing out on everything. They're gluing to the shooters. They're not allowing threes. Look, the Celtics play that formulaic style. Again, not hating on the formulaic style in a massive possession right here as well. I'm not hating on the Celtics for being formulaic. Again, I said this last night. Formulaic is fine. But they look for threes at all costs. And the Knicks were ready for that, and the Celtics weren't ready for the Knicks to be ready for that. The Knicks countered the Celtics, and Joe Mazzulla did not counter that, and Celtics fans are very upset that he didn't counter Tibbs' counter. Tom Thibodeau won the coaching battle last night, and that's a good feeling. Guys, what do you think about all this? What do you predict the series is going to happen? What's going to happen in Game 2? Let me know in the comments down below. Like this video, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Tell me how the Knicks punch the Celtics back in Game 2 before the Celtics can say, let's make a statement. How do they not let them make a statement? Talk to me. Have a great day. Like, subscribe, turn on post notifications. Go Knicks.